Hello and welcome to Hedgie English. This is the third part of our story, of our Grimm's fairy tale, Hans in Luck. Last time, if you remember, Hans trades his big piece of silver for a horse. He tries to make the horse go fast. He falls off the horse. He hates the horse, and he sees a cow and goes, boy, and he talks to the shepherd, the person who owns the cow, and he says, boy, I hate this horse. I love that cow. I wish I had that cow. And also the horse, it ruined his coat when the horse threw him off. He fell into a puddle, which does not smell like a nosegay, a little bouquet of flowers, and it ruined his coat. So he talks to the shepherd and says how cool the cow is. Let's continue. He's talking more about the cow. One can walk along at one's leisure behind that cow, keep good company, and have milk, butter, and cheese every day into the bargain. So one, meaning someone can walk along at one's leisure. At one's leisure is kind of like relaxation and comfort. So if you walk at your leisure, it's as slow as you want, as comfortably as you want. You can walk along at one's leisure behind the cow. Keep good company, which I guess is like, yeah, it's cool to have the cow around. And you get milk, and have milk, butter, and cheese every day into the bargain. Into the situation. You also get milk, butter, and cheese every day. So have milk, butter, and cheese every day into the bargain. What would I give to have such a prize? Here it sounds like a question, but it's not an actual question. It's just like, wow, I really would give a lot. What would I give to have such a prize? A prize, something you get when you win, a prize. Well, said the shepherd, if you are so fond of her, if you like her so much, if you are so fond of her, I will change my cow for your horse. I will trade my cow for your horse. I will change my cow for your horse. I like to do good to my neighbors, even though I lose by it myself. I like to do good to my neighbors. I like to do good things for my neighbors. Even though I lose by it myself. Kind of a complicated way of saying, even though it's better for you. I like to do good things for my neighbors, even though it hurts me a little bit. Even though it's better for them than me. Even though I lose by it myself. Done, said Hans, merrily. Merrily, remember happily. Done, said Hans merrily. What a noble heart that good man has. Noble, like good, brave, good heart. What a noble heart that good man has, thought he. And then the shepherd jumped upon the horse, jumped on the horse, wished Hans and the cow good morning, said, have a good morning. Wished Hans and the cow good morning, and away he rode. Away he rode. Hans brushed his coat, wiped his face. So, got a brush, brushed his coat, wiped his face and hands, rested a while, didn't move, rested a while, and then drove off his cow quietly. So, got the cow to walk quietly, and thought his bargain a very lucky one. He thought his bargain was good. If I have only a piece of bread, and I certainly shall always be able to get that, I can, whenever I like, eat my butter and cheese with it. So, if I have only a piece of bread, and I certainly shall always be able to get that, I can, whenever I like, anytime I like, whenever I like, eat my butter and cheese with it. And when I am thirsty, when I want to drink something, when I am thirsty, I can milk my cow. It's to take the milk from the cow. I can milk my cow and drink the milk. And what can I wish for more? What can I wish for more? What else could I want? I don't want anything else. What else could I want? What can I wish for more? When he came to an inn, a hotel with food also, he came to an inn, he halted. He stopped. He halted. Ate up all his bread. He ate his bread. And gave away his last penny for a glass of beer. So he gave all of his money for some beer. Don't know if that's always a good choice. When he had rested himself, he set off again. So he rested. When he finished resting, he left. He set off. He left. He set off again, driving his cow towards his mother's village. So making his cow go towards his mother's village. But the heat grew greater as soon as noon came on. So the heat grew greater. It got hotter. The heat increased, grew greater as soon as noon came on. As soon as noon happened, it became noon. He began to be so hot and parched, like needs water, parched, that his tongue clave to the roof of his mouth. This is an interesting word. I'm not completely sure, but I think clave means to stick. In this case, so it's past tense of cleave, which is usually, to cleave something is usually to cut something, to split something. But in this case, I'm not sure. Tongue clave to mouth. It sounds like stick. Yeah, interesting, yeah. It looks like it's biblical speech from the Bible. So I think it's your tongue sticks to your mouth. It's on your mouth. It can't move. So he was very parched. It was very hot. His tongue was stuck to the roof of his mouth. I can find a cure for this, thought he. Old English, thought he thought today. I can find a cure for this. A cure, something that fixes this, like we normally have cures for diseases. I can find a cure for this, thought he. Now I will milk my cow and quench my thirst. Quench is satisfy. If I'm thirsty, I drink something. I quench my thirst. So he tied her to the stump of a tree. Stump is the like the bottom part, the biggest part of a tree, the bottom. When you cut a tree down, you have the tree which falls and the bottom part, which is the stump. So he tied his cow to a stump of a tree and held his leathern cap to milk into. So he took his hat off and tried to milk the cow into the hat. He held his leathern cap to milk into. But not a drop was to be had. But not a drop was to be had. So there was no milk. No milk came out. Not even a little drop. He couldn't have even a little drop. Who would have thought that this cow, which was to bring him milk and butter and cheese, was all that time utterly dry? So who would have thought? Nobody would have thought. Who knew? He didn't. Who knew? Who would have thought that this cow, which was to bring him milk and butter and cheese, which was supposed to bring him, which was to bring him milk and butter and cheese, was all that time utterly dry? So who would have thought? That cow, he thought milk, butter, and cheese, but the whole time was dry. Couldn't make milk. Kind of a play on words, utterly, because utterly with a T, utterly, we pronounce it in America like with a D, utterly. It means very, completely dry. But also the cow, the part of the cow's body that you milk, is called an udder. So the cow was utterly dry. Hans had not thought of looking to that. So Hans never thought about that. He never popped in his mind. He had not thought of looking to that. So that's good for the third part of Hans in Luck. He saw that cow. He's like, I'll give you this stupid horse for that cow. Because I want butter, I want cheese, I want milk. Oh boy. And the shepherd of the cow was like, yeah, that's great. I'll trade with you, even though I think I'm getting a bad deal. But I want you to have this cow. So they make the trade, and Hans spends all of his money, and then he's walking, and it's really hot, and he's thirsty, and there's no milk. The cow doesn't give milk. So what will Hans do next? Come see in the next installment of Hans in Luck. Thank you for coming. Please, if you watched this far, toss me a like, subscribe, anything. It's cool, it helps, and I appreciate it. So have a good day, and hope to see you again soon.